Hey everybody, JJ here. Right from Hollywood, California. The Hollywood sign's behind me. I grew up in Hollywood, so it's kind of near and dear to my heart. Today we have a guest speaker who is absolutely amazing. He's going to be talking about building out your conveyor belt. What is building your conveyor belt? He's going to tell you. Our guest speaker is a really sharp guy, really smart guy. He's got a background in IT. I'll let him tell you a little bit more about himself. But our guest speaker today is none other than Darren Talcott from Sub 2. Darren, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, JJ. Thanks for inviting me. It was great to meet you at Clever Summit in person, and so happy to be here to talk about conveyor belt.
Oh, man, it was so nice of you to come up and say hello. We got a chance to meet a couple times, talk a couple times, and to me, that just makes it even more memorable. I've heard about you long before we met. And, you know, I remember we were talking.
I'm sure.
How's that?
All lies, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, they were pretty live compliments, but you know, it's another one of those things that people hear about us without us even knowing about it, and that's what the importance and the impact of social media is. But really quick, man, give folks a little bit of background. What's your background before you became a real estate investor?
Well, I've done quite a few things. When I was 22, I joined the Army after 9/11 and did 5 years in the Army with 10th Mountain Division. I worked in military intelligence, did a lot of computer work there. Then after I got out in '07, I stayed on as a DoD contractor for the 10th Mountain for another 6.5 years. After that, I transitioned to working for a small nonprofit hospital as a one-person IT department. Did that for almost another 6 years till they outsourced. And around that, a little before that happened, my brother John, who's my partner, said, "Hey, I want to get into real estate." And I'm like, that's something that I've wanted to get into for a while too. So I jumped all in with him on that. After I transitioned to working in real estate full time, I sold my house in New York and I moved back home to Ohio, where I'm from, which is great. The winters are a lot more mild, and I've been doing this full time. For anybody that's read Rocket Fuel, which is a book I highly recommend, I learned that naturally I'm an integrator. You have visionaries who come up with ideas and are sort of the face of the company, and you have the integrators who are in the background making things run, making the trains run on time. And so I learned that really fits my personality and my skill set from IT. And so running the operations here for our company, Really Brothers Investments, everything from building out CRMs to cleaning toilets. It's been an adventure.
There you go, brother. Hey, no, it is an absolute pleasure to have you on the call today. Really quick, what's going to be tell us a little bit about what your presentation is going to be about.
Okay. Well, I'm going to be talking about building out your business conveyor belt. And what that is your processes, everything from start to finish and how it should look, mapping it out, and why this tool can be very beneficial when you're determining not only where you want to go as a business, but also how to get there. And I put a little presentation I want to share with everybody because I was thinking about this topic and how I was going to present it. And so many thoughts and ideas came to mind on this. I wanted it to be a little more logical than my mind.
Cool, brother. Hey, well, we're all ready to go. So with no further ado, man, take it away.
Some of the things we're going to talk about today is what is the business conveyor belt map? Why is it important to you and why you should look at building that? The map is totally custom to your operations. One size doesn't fit all. And there will be some assembly required. I'm also going to show you some examples near the end of some of the maps of not only that we've done for our business, but also for others in the Sub 2, where I've tried to help others on their journey. and what I call the living map. This is something that's going to change over time. It's constantly going to be reviewed. And if not, it's going to be something that'll come to bite you in the end there. So what is a business conveyor belt map? It's not just for factories anymore. Is your business a smoothly running machine? Now, if you imagine yourself as a factory owner, you're standing on a catwalk above the operations, a couple stories up, and you look down and you see your conveyor belt. You see the raw product or raw materials coming in at one end and a finished product coming in at the end. And everybody is in their place. All your stations are logically and efficiently put in place. Your employees are trained. Everything is specialized. There's a smooth flow of product from start to finish. Everyone knows their job and everybody's doing it well. That's what I think of when I think of a conveyor belt. Now, you may be thinking, hey, I'm a real estate investor. You know, I'm not building cars or making widgets. So what does this have to do with a real estate investment business? Well, let's build on the concept. Whether you're making cars, widgets, or anything, or investing in real estate, if you want to have a business, you want your process to be repeatable, reliable, you want results, and you want to make sure that it's scalable. As I was researching this and putting this together, I came across a nice quote from Caroline Banton from Investopedia.com article back in February. She said, an assembly line is a production process that breaks the manufacture of goods into steps that are completed in a predefined sequence. Assembly lines are the most commonly used method in mass production of products. They reduce labor costs because unskilled workers are trained to perform specific tasks. Now, while that works in manufacturing, it can work in real estate as well, or any business process. You think of, for example, McDonald's. They have their frozen patties and their buns, and they put them together, and they have a process, and the fry cook knows what they're doing, and the person on the grill's got his job. Everybody's specialized, and that way you can zip in and out within 2 minutes time, and you're on your way, and you've got your product. And that is, no matter where you go, McDonald's, you get the same cheeseburger, whether you're in Poughkeepsie or you're in New York City. And that's all because they built out their conveyor belt and their processes, their KPIs, their SOPs, and we'll talk about all these things here. Again, what does a conveyor belt have to do with real estate? Well, you have your set practices. You have your staff that you bring on. You have to train. You have to build out your systems, make sure that they're reliable, that they work every time. You have your written SOPs, your standard operating procedures, so that your VAs or your transactional coordinators, your lead managers, everybody has their specific job. They know exactly what's expected of them. They are trained regularly. You have your team meetings, and they know how to use the systems that are in place, whether it's your CRM for tracking your leads, your dialer, your skip tracing, your team chat, so everybody can stay informed and dialed in. You have established expectations. You're tracking and reporting your KPIs or your key process indicators. And you as the owner and team leaders are regularly reviewing these reports, these processes, to make sure that you're reaching your goals. When expectations are set, processes are in place, goals are met, processes reviews, success will follow. Okay, so what should your business conveyor belt include? What's involved and how is it going to look like? Now, as you can see from this slide, there's a lot of moving pieces, and it's all going to depend on how you want your business to look in the end. What are your end goals? You're going to have all different kinds of systems, your processes, whether it's dialer, your tracking, KPIs, your skip tracing, how to do email. What are you going to do to bring in leads? Are you going to drive for dollars? Or are you going to cold call, SMS, PPC, SEO? you know, and then in the end, what are you going to do to meet your goals? Are you going to work with agents? Are you going to JV possibly in the sub two? Are you going to work with hedge funds? Are you going to buy and hold? Are you going to do Airbnb, wholesale, fix and flip? It's easy to get lost in the sauce. But the goal of your conveyor belt is to avoid an paralysis by analysis and shiny object syndrome. But don't worry, don't feel overwhelmed. Start with the end in mind. And what I mean by that is start with the end in mind is that your business is unique to you. No two maps may be identical. Your business may look completely different than the way I run my business because we all have different goals in mind. Build out your business to reflect where you want to be in the next 5 to 10 years. I got a quote here from Pace Morby. I was at the mastermind with my brother back in May of last year, and we were on the hot seat. It was a session that he does in the mastermind, which is great. Gets you up there, you're in front of everybody, and you tell them what you're running into, what your challenges in your business are, and you don't get off that hot seat until you have clarity and course of action. It was absolutely worth the price of admission on that if you never go. One thing that he said to me that stuck out is build your business to fit your life, not your life to fit your business. So again, this is one thing that your conveyor belt map can do. And as I said in the beginning, your business will constantly change. This map will change as well. And you'll constantly have to evaluate it over time to see where you need to adjust to get to where you want to go. And again, what are your end goals? Do you want to have passive income? Do you want to have stability and predictability in your income over time where you can do whatever you want? Maybe you want to start a nonprofit. Maybe you want to have rental income coming in every month. Whatever it is, maybe you want to travel. Building out your business so that it meets your goals at the end there. Okay, so let's get down to what a conveyor belt might look like. I'm going to show you a couple of examples. This first one here is one that I built for someone in the sub 2. Hopefully you guys can see this okay. What we did in a show that I do in the sub 2 is we took the topic of building out your conveyor belt from start to finish, from choosing whatever market you want to go to, all the way down to getting that check in the wired into your account and paying off your team members. So this is an example of the conveyor belt that we built out, and we broke down every step of the process for that fit his business. From choosing your marketing, whether you wanted to market in, say, Florida or Arizona, pulling a list for that since he was going to be doing cold calling, skip tracing the list. Then we created the campaign and call tools, gave it over to his cold callers. They qualified those leads using the 4 pillars, which was, that is timeline, condition, price, and their motivation, a reason for selling. They put that into their CRM. Lead managers took over and looked at the opportunity, followed up, so whether that was a qualified lead and could go on to the next step. If not, they determine if the lead is dead, or maybe the person is best fit with working with a real estate agent. They could work that so that with agent partners in their business so that they can get a marketing fee. That's another thing that the conveyor belt can do for you is you can take a look at your processes, see gaps where problems are occurring, and turn them into profit centers. For this case here, A dead lead was turned into a marketing feed by working with a real estate agent. Turn a loss into a win. Okay, so then it goes into deal analysis. They set an appointment to take a look. They make an offer. They get a signed contract. The transaction coordinator takes over. They open escrow. They send it out to their buyers. They start marketing all the way through closing. And then at the end, you've got a deal one, compensate the crew. So your acquisitions, your dispositions, your cold callers, everybody's paying their bonuses. Now, as you go along, this will change. On the next slide, I'll show you an example of ours, and it's changed a few different times. But this model here will help with also determining if something is going wrong in your business. For example, if you're not getting enough leads, you can go through your process here and check and see where you might be falling short. Are your VAs not getting enough leads? Well, is that because your dialer might be having an issue where your numbers are bad and you need to refresh your phone numbers because they're getting flagged? Is it possibly that your skip tracing service isn't giving you enough quality information, bad numbers, and so that you might need to look at your skip tracing? Could it be the market? You're not finding enough leads there. As you're going through, how is your closing ratio? Are the deals that you're getting signed and going into escrow, are they closing? If not, possibly your transaction coordinator or your dispo team needs to do better at communicating with buyers and keeping them in line. This is, as I said, the more detailed you make it, each step, you can also build out your SOPs, your operating procedures, your KPIs. You can track everything, and you can get pretty detailed with this, as you're going. Here's another example. This one I built out a while back for our company, and I've got it color coded so that everybody that is assigned that particular task knows what they're supposed to be doing. This particular model here has changed a couple different times, and it will change again because we're working with different people. We're trying different things. You can see the lead flow from start to finish and where everything goes in the process. Just a few last slides here. Coming together is a beginning. Keeping together is progress. Working together is success. That's I found from Henry Ford when I was researching this. I thought it was a good quote. And as I've said before, your business map is going to change over time. It's the real estate landscape is constantly changing. Marketing techniques that may have worked well before a year ago may be ineffective today. Laws are constantly changing. For example, like RVMs were hot back in the day, but some states have outlawed it, like Florida. Some states are changing their wholesaling laws so that now you either have to be licensed or you have to work with agents or they're outlawing it entirely. Things are constantly changing. If your business model hasn't changed or been adjusted, is the market leaving you behind? And regular review of your business structure, processes, training, marketing is key to remaining competitive in the marketplace. As I've mentioned before, our model has changed. I'd say we're on Realty Brothers 5.0 at this point. But something that Henry Ford said here also, failure is simply the opportunity to begin again, this time more intelligently. So if you have to scrap something and go back to the drawing board or make changes, it's not a failure. It's adjusting to the market, and it's always improving your processes. It's an opportunity to grow. Some of the tools that I use that might be helpful. Some of these are free, or the base model is free. There is, for example, Miro. This presentation here conveyor belt models that I showed you were built in Miro. It's a free mapping tool or layout tool. Canva is another one that I use a lot for my Facebook marketing. I built this presentation using that. That's another great free tool. You can build out your Instagram posts, Facebook, a lot of your social media marketing, and it's free. Asana is a great tool for building out your SOPs, mapping out your training for your company, along with Trainual, where you can record recordings such as how to skip trace, how to load up a campaign into your dialer, things that you eventually want to have a VA do or other members of your staff so that you can move on, spend your time more wisely, doing bigger deals. And lastly, Fiverr.com is a tool that I use quite a bit. For example, if I have a contract that comes out to me and I want to make it into a fillable PDF, I could do it myself, or I could pay a guy on Fiverr $10 to do it. So it comes down to who, not how, which has been another great book that I recommend there. I want to appreciate your guys' time on this here. Here's some of my contact info. And I appreciate you guys taking the time and listen to me ramble on about this.
Fantastic, brother. That was awesome. I love the slide. We're going to go to the Q&A in just a moment. For those of you that are watching Darren's video on YouTube, please click below that you like his video and subscribe to the channel. And we're building up our viewing and building up our subscribers, so that's great. For those of you that are on the call, hang on right now. We're going to go to the breakout rooms for a little bit, do some networking, and then we're going to do the Q&A after that. Everybody else who's watching the call, oh, before we break away, Darren, being that it's a networking group and someone who's an integrator and you're successful in real estate, you're dealing with all kinds of people, how important is networking for the real estate investor, in your opinion?
Well, at the end there, I mentioned the book Who Not How, and that really is an amazing book to read. And networking is everything. Nobody can do everything in this. I've had to teach myself a number of skills, and there are people out there that do it much better than I am or can do. And there's everybody has their strengths and weaknesses. And networking together, coming together and being a part of a community will get you to that next level.
There you go. We say it all the time, guys. Your network is your net worth. It's not who you know, but who knows you. So make yourself visible, make yourself known. Join my little networking group. It's on Facebook. It's called JJ's Mastermind Networking. You can find it on the internet by looking for networkingwithjj.com. Everybody else, hang out. We'll see you all soon. Look for our next Zoom call. Over and out. Thank you.